Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW where nerds rule the world. I am Heather Hurt. The weather looks like it's going to be nice here in the DC area for a little while, and that is Kuya P. Sorry, for some reason I get into this weird monotone when I come into these. That's Kuya P, and we have Anthony Francis from the movie review today. We're going to have some fun and talk some movies, so make sure you check out all of our reviews on the channel. Today we're talking about a movie, I guess, called Old Guy. Let's get to the trailer first, and then we'll talk about it.
After 30 years, I haven't messed up a single job.
With the arthritis you had, you can expect an occasional flare-up.
I really need to get back to work.
What do you do?
Oh, here we go.
Zelensky. He made a terrible mess. Didn't even get the guy.
We can avoid these problems.
We're going younger across the board. I've got something I think you might like.
Back in the field.
In a different capacity.
Hey man, what's up?
You forgot the vodka.
Alcohol is actually really bad for you.
Probably. Get out of there! He's some sort of hitman prodigy.
Prodigy. Guy paints his fingernails.
This working together thing, not bad, right?
You're gonna do as I say.
Sure thing, Obi-Wan.
I need my gear.
Where are you headed next?
Northern Ireland?
I've always wanted to visit there.
So are you like a prostitute or something?
Why are you partnered up? Training out. Don't believe that, do you? They are gonna root out every last one of us. We need to call in the cavalry.
We're looking to the future.
His skills, you're gonna need him. We made a play, but we lost.
Zelensky still has gas in the tank.
Well, that trailer gave everything away because that was almost the entire film in about a minute and a half. I'm just going to be. I'm not. I'm going to wear everything on my sleeve today. Old Guy was directed by Simon West. I'll let Kuya P talk about that in just a second. Writing credits go to Greg Johnson. The film features Christopher Waltz as Danny Dolinsky. Even though it sounds like Zelensky, I think it's supposed to be Dolinsky. I'm not 100% sure, but that is what's on IMDb, so I'm going to trust it. Lucy Liu plays an Anata. Cooper Hoffman is Wilborg. I know how to speak English. Karishma wow, I'm winning names today. Nayekar is Dada. Desmond Edwards is Richie, and Ryan McParland is Doug. As always, it takes a village to make a film, to make anything. We are going to cut it off for time. I'm hoping this is about 10 minutes. I'm not going to deny, guys, and I will get into the reason why I'm hoping it's about 10 minutes in a second. But with that, we do want to respect the fact that it does take a lot of hard work to make any film, no matter what our critique of it will be. With that being said, let's talk about our initial thoughts from the trailer. Anthony, when you first saw the announcement for this film, what were your thoughts?
Meh. I mean, the only thing that intrigued me was Christoph Waltz. And I like a good action movie. It seemed to be retro styled, and Simon West used to do a few back in the day. But still, meh. Wasn't that
What about you,
exciting.
Poopy?
For me, I'll echo Anthony and also add Lucy Liu. Big fan of Lucy Liu. So the two of them together, and with Simon West behind it, very familiar with his past work. So slightly intrigued. Don't know much about this Cooper Hoffman guy, but intrigued. It looks like a popcorn action flick, which we get a lot of. So slightly intrigued, but I guess I'll to go with the team. Yeah.
We have been getting an increase in the older generation action stars taking over and coming back to do films as older guys, and it is nice in some ways, but it's also kind of becoming repetitious in others. I think in QP's, in my initial reaction to this, we were both kind of like, it looks interesting. Is it going to be a repeat of everything else though? Because we have a lot of this already, and we are in, you have to differentiate yourself within a genre where there's already a lot of these concepts of old guys doing action things. By the way, Creepy, I'm sure you'll repeat this, but make sure you go check. He does talk to Simon West, director Simon West, about this film. It was in theaters. It's available now on stream. So we will be potentially talking about spoilers in this, because it's been out in this review, because it has been out for a while. So with that being said, we're going to go straight into our reviews, and I'm actually going to go first this time. I usually hand it off to someone else, but I'm going to say this because I have to. This movie was boring and ridiculous. I believe it was just under 2 hours. And the reason I want this to be a short review is because you don't need more of your time wasted if you've already seen this movie. And I mean that in a very polite way. The only other film I have said that to on this channel is Brutalist. You really don't need to sit through that fucking film. But this movie,
Anthony's like, oh my gosh, she's going hard today, bro. Hard in the paint.
I don't mean to negate once again the hard work that goes into this film. I do think there was some great acting. I think that the writing was a little bit short, and it just was an inconsistent story. And honestly, there were times when I could not follow the plot because they were going in 14 different directions. So that's why I want this to be short. I just wanted to round out that statement. And now let's go into other people's reviews who aren't huge terrible bitches like me. Kuyupi, we'll go backwards. What were your thoughts of this film?
Oh, I thought I'd finish it up because I have actually some positives. I'd rather get out any negative and leave with a positive. So
sure.
If you want to go, Anthony, or unless you have some positives, because I got some positives.
Get the negatives out of the way.
Now let's get the negatives out the way.
Throw it to me. I, with the exception of the shocking comment on the Brutalist, I agree with every word that came out of your mouth, Heather. And I might expand the boredom that I had with this thing. I think here's my shocking comment. I love Christoph Waltz. I think he's a great actor. He gives the same performance, just drama comedy, but he's great at it. By the way, Cooper Hoffman is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son.
Oh, nepotism at its finest again.
Right.
And honestly, I didn't mind him. I didn't mind any of the characters in the role. Okay. They just weren't strong.
Yeah, he was really good in Licorice Pizza, Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. He was a star. But yeah, no, it's just, I'm almost like, okay, I'll talk about it. It's old school, which is great, but you can make an old school, you can do, I mean, how many great cop buddy movies are there? There were a ton, but they would just flip the script and make something new out of the same old thing. This did not. It was extremely boring. Too confusing a plot for such a simplistic plot. Too many characters. Forgive me. I love Lucy Liu. Oh, she bored me to tears in this. Underwritten role. Probably not her fault. I mean, definitely not her fault in the screenplay, but yeah, I just thought this was DOA through the whole thing. Do I have something good to say? Waltz is a good actor. I mean, the action wasn't anything thrilling. The story was too convoluted for, I think I just said this, for as simplistic as it is. And yeah, there was a lot going on, and I was so bored. Yeah.
All right.
A shame.
I can see those opinions. I do not disagree with those opinions. I guess I'm being nice. I also was doing something at the same time of doing it. I like to edit a little bit while watching at the same time. So that kind of helped pass the time. I think it had its moments. Christoph Waltz, I think, was great. And I also want to say something for us old guys. I guess I'll be the older guy in the room, Anthony. I like seeing old guys lead. While Heather might have said that we see it all the time, we do see it quite a bit. But also, at the same time, I'd say we don't. And I would say in regards to the old guy action stars, like there's some action star old guys that are way overused. Christoph Waltz is a character actor, as we know. And seeing him in this, I'd like it. He's trying to, it fits the role. I think my biggest thing with this film, respect to Cooper Hoffman, he was adequate enough to show this balance between young and old, but I think he wasn't very charismatic. I think if you were to plug in, say there was a recent film that we just watched, Riff Raff with Bill Murray and Pete Davidson. I thought great as a older young tandem. I think if we had that with a Pete Davidson who's a little bit more charismatic, would have been wonderful to see. Christoph Waltz versus Pete Davidson, would have just gave it a little bit more. So, and again, Hoffman did the role. I blame the script, but just it didn't grab me to that effect. So there are moments, but again, I agree with you overall. Boring, but I was slightly entertained. Lucy Liu was wooden, but then at the same time, Lucy Liu can do anything for me. I've had a crush on Lucy Liu for forever. Even had the pleasure of interviewing Lucy Liu for NRW. Go see that interview on the channel. But yeah, I see the points. I'm not going to argue it and go too long because Heather is done with this film. But I thought it was okay, not great by all means, not good by all means, but I've seen worse. And I know Anthony has seen worse that we've both interviewed on this channel. May I remind you, Agent Recon, Anthony?
No, you may not remind
me. So yeah, Agent Recon, that I would say is probably the lowest film of the stuff I've interviewed or done on NRW. But yeah.
I think didn't I do an interview for Agent Recon
I think
too?
You did one. Yes, I think you did. Yes, you did. You did 2 interviews for Agent Recon.
I did two interviews for
If you remember that film, that has to be the worst film we've ever watched.
No, that's not. Oh fuck, what's the one? With the Ukrainian woman. Oh my god, I did another assassin. I'm not saying this is the worst film. It was just boring. Like, I will say this over and over again: great writing can bring up poor acting. Poor writing cannot be brought up by great acting. You just can't do it. We have all watched some terrible films. We also don't want to once again negate the fact that strong work is done on all of these, and we don't want to like super harp on it. It's just that we are going to be honest in a critique, and this movie was just not what it was set out to be. Right now, you can get it for $14.99 on places like Amazon and Apple TV, and I cannot justify that. I cannot justify a $15 price right now, and that's me being brutally honest with this film. It had options. If they had just kept it with the buddy cop, older cop, younger cop kind of concept, I think it would have been a stronger film. Them adding this personal element to it, them all of a sudden turning it into an espionage-esque, fight between organizations. There was just too much, and it was just you'll get lost in the film. I'm sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
Completely take Lucy Liu's character out of the film.
It'd be the same film.
There will be no dramatic road bump.
Yeah, no breaks.
She doesn't add anything, and if she's gone, you don't lose anything. And that's not on her again, the screenplay.
Well, it's the same when Zelensky goes to his mother's house.
Yeah.
You could take that entire portion of him taking his mother to a safe house out of this film, and it would not have been a different film. Yeah. So with that being said, we don't want to keep harping on this movie. We just do not think that it is necessarily worth it, unfortunately.
And it's free on streaming. Go check it out there. Or Tubi. It's going to be a Tubi movie.
You'll see the movie on one of my end of the year lists. I'll let you figure out which one.
Wow, that's saying something. It's only at the beginning of March, my friends. All right, not to keep going on this. Old Guy is available right now to stream on places for rent on places like Apple TV and Prime Video. Please check it out if you are interested. If you've already seen this movie, if you disagree with us wholeheartedly, if you think that we are way too brutal or not brutal enough, please tell us in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, all of those things, and we will see y'all soon.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. Kuya P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds Rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes.
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
Absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
So much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.